Hey and welcome to the MX-5 guide on Okayama in iRacing. This track is quite long, but it's definitely worth to learn it. The races are fun around here and it's also a good track to farm safety rating on, which makes it a win-win situation. It's so easy to find a few tens on this track, which will give you a big edge in your next race, so don't hesitate to run a few more laps in your next practice sessions. You can find all lap files on a community Discord, which is linked in the description down below. I will also launch my coaching service in the upcoming week, so if you see this in a few days, you will find the link to it in the description as well. Approach the first turn on the left edge of the track and use the blue cone on the right or the marshal groove on the left as markers for braking. You want to give the brakes a quick, hard touch and shift down into second gear. Attack the curb, and since you want to get the most out of the short straight that's coming up, you want to be back on the throttle right when you hit the curb. Push the car to the right edge of the track and lift on the entry for the next high-speed turn. You can hover over the brakes and give them a soft touch if you need to make a small correction. It's tough to hit this turn consistently with changing tire and race conditions, so sometimes lifting will be enough. Sometimes you will need to make that small adjustment on the brakes. Be prepared for both. Get back on the throttle when you reach the apex and try to accelerate the car at the grip level to get the best exit. Hit the brakes when you are right in the middle between the 100 and 50 meter boards. If there's no car ahead of you, you can also use this triangle dirt texture for orientation and hit the brakes before the edge of the texture touches the track. You want to play it safe here and not overshoot the entry. We have a long straight ahead of us where we need all the speed we can get, and overshooting the entry will cost you a lot of time on the way to the next turn. Be back on the throttle as soon as possible to accelerate onto the long straight. As you can see it here, I'm already back on the throttle when I reach the curb. Overshooting this acceleration point can easily cost you a half second or more at the end of the straight, so make sure you are playing it safe around this turn. Hit the brakes hard when you are halfway between the 100 meter board and the marshal groove and shift all the way down into first gear. This is also a good spot for attacks, so always check your mirrors before braking and block the inside if needed. Be patient on the entry, attack the curb and push the car to the right once you accelerate again. You want to end up on the right edge of the track, turn in when you reach the dirt spots on the right and aim for the inside curb. You can hover over the brakes like I'm doing it here to make small adjustments to your speed. This is another important spot which can cost you a lot of time. You don't want to go wide here, you want to be right on the curb and accelerate onto the short straight. Use the runoff area to get a wider line through the two left-handers and turn in when you reach this curb. I'm hovering on the brakes again to adjust my momentum for the next apex. You want to be smooth with your inputs here and follow a smooth line. Attack the inside curb along the track limits and smash the throttle once you touch it. Prepare the car for the next hairpin by slightly turning in when you reach the 50 meter board and hit the brakes. You want to attack the curb here, hook into it and be aggressive on the throttle when you reach the apex. That way you get a nice exit which leads you towards the left side of the track. Push the car to the middle left side of the track, stay in first gear and aim for a similar line through the second hairpin. There aren't any markers around here, but the turn is quite slow, which makes it easy to develop a feeling for it. Give the brakes a soft touch to adjust your speed for the entry. This hairpin works the same way like the last one. Aim for a smooth line, attack the inside and be aggressive on the throttle when you reach the apex. I left some unused space on the inside here. Ideally you want to be right on the edge between the track and the curb. The last brake marker is the end of the green curb on the left. Hit the brakes and shift down into second gear. You don't want to overshoot the entry again, since the main straight is pretty long and losing speed here will cost you a lot of time at the end of it. Attack the inside and try to be back on the throttle as early as possible. Exit the turn right on this curb. If you have no troubles to keep the car on track around here, then you can probably still push the car harder through the last turn and carry more speed onto the straight. And that's it, that was the guide lap. The cockpit lap is coming up next. Thank you for your support, I wish you all the best for the next races and see you next time!